Welcome back, viewers, to another edition of the Heads Up podcast for a wintry Friday. Neil, great to have you on board. And it's Super Rugby final weekend. It's Waikato Jumps big day. There's a bit of Trentham as well. Plenty to get our teeth into today. You're looking very well. Retirement must be treating you well, eh?
Oh, I wish it was. No, it's a great weekend. Plus, we've got the golf as well, the Open Golf. We're looking forward to that. Looks like a pretty tough golf course. So, great weekend of sport coming up. No, we've got the Blues last week. I don't know. They looked good, but the last 5 minutes is a worry.
Yeah, well, they didn't cover the line like they should have.
They should have.
That was disappointing. But we'll touch on them. It's going to be a good final tomorrow at 7:30. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see if they get off the fence, and maybe jump on to the Crusaders, maybe, or they're going to stick with the Blues. Anyway, we'll find out shortly. Okay. You're off to Trentham races tomorrow. Should be a good day there.
Yeah, Trentham. Obviously, as we kind of thought might happen last week, it got called off. Hopefully not this week. And we can see our little chocolate fish head-to-head battle between Chase and Carpe Diem eventuate.
Oh, you'd have to give me
both dropping back to the 1,400-metre race tomorrow, the North Island Challenge Stakes. So Chase has been well backed, I see, $3.80 into $3.
You'd have to give me
your Carpe Diem's got no money coming for it. So I'm feeling pretty bullish that Chase will do the business.
You'd have to give me a six length head start, wouldn't you? Those prizes.
6 lengths last week.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I'll go head to head then for a chocolate fish. That's fine. Interesting race. Good each way value there. 51 kgs. Chase is a good horse. I've got Deerfield on there. He's a good tough horse. And good third last start. So. No, but we've got two good races at Te Rapa tomorrow, haven't we? Two good jumps races. Looking forward to those. And in that third race, the hurdles, interesting race there. What do you like? Chief Sequoia, pretty keen on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you just cut out for a second.
Okay. Chief Sequoia.
I tell you what I'm keen on, and I doubt the TAB will do it. But if there's a head-to-head with English Gambler involved, take whoever's against English Gambler. Like, I know there was a head-to-head last time in the Hawke's Bay hurdles, Chief Sequoia, English Gambler. That horse does not see out 3,200 metres. It'll be fading at the top of the straight, and most should run past it. But looking at the odds, there's probably not a horse with similar odds. So he can't win. Raucous, it goes pretty good. So that could be a chance. I wouldn't write off Fantasy Flight, but Dr. Hank does look like the one I was really taken. Remember one day at Trentham, I think it was last year, he really put away a hurdle field with ease, and he's shown a bit of form on the flat. I think he ran behind a good horse at Wanganui the other day called Kingfisher Lad. So that's very good form if I take myself, Neil, being a shareholder in Kingfisher Lad.
Yeah.
So Dr. Hank for me, Harvey Wilson, he's a master at getting these jumpers right. And Sean Phelan, you'd have to say he's the number one jumps jockey at the moment in New Zealand, although Sean Fannin might have me on for saying that. But yeah, it looks like Dr. Hank is the one. Wouldn't write off Arjun. I see it's changed stables since its last run. Now with Tim and Margaret Carter, but 70 kgs, a little bit of a concern there, but probably has earned the weight, obviously, with his great hurdling record over the past few seasons. But yeah, I'm sticking with Dr. Hank. Yourself?
Yeah, I can't disagree. I think Dr. Hank, he beat Chief Sequoia and Raucous here, second up at Te Rapa, 2,800 metres last year. Like you say, when at Trentham was really good, beating Fantasy Flight, I think it was. And third up, he's had two flat runs. Sean Phelan jumps off Raucous onto Dr. Hank, and I think Dr. Hank will be way too good. Steeples race is another good race. What do you like?
Yeah, 3,900 metres is the key, I guess. That probably puts Magic Wonder at a disadvantage. We know she's likes the ultimate trip. Maybe a couple of hills in between, but obviously won't get that anymore. with the closure of the Ellerslie jumping circuit. Dummy Myers, Alberon has to be respected.
Yeah.
But I think you might like Phelan to do the double with Argyle.
Yeah, I do actually. I think it was a really good run last start at Trentham, and third up, right stable, Nelson McDougall stable in hot form, and yeah, like Sean Phelan again. So I think Argyle's the way to go. So a few jumps in the way, and yeah, Magic Wonder. I think you need the weight and the more ground. Zamora was a nice run last start, but I always come back to Argyle. He does look a hard horse to beat for me. We've got a few other races on the flat there. Anything else on the flat you like there?
Not really.
No,
Obviously, probably the crazy thing is the two feature or prestige jumping races, as they're known, might even be surpassed, would you believe, by the maiden steeplechase with the debut appearance over the big fences of the Cossack, and obviously $1.50 now, mixed odds. After what I saw at Hawke's Bay, Neil, I think he's probably, I'll say he's the best jumper New Zealand's produced in the last 40 years.
4 years?
40.
40 years. That's interesting. John Wheeler said on the radio on SENZ this morning that he's the best jump in the last 10 years. So I think both of you can't be wrong. So no, I think I have to agree. He's just a terrific jumper, isn't he? Gutsy, and just keeps going, carries big weights. So I think you're right there. Hard to disagree anyway. But, back to her, Steeples tomorrow. He's got to be hard to beat, you think, in that field, but there's a few jumps in the way. We'll find out tomorrow. But can he win tomorrow? $1.50?
Well, he should win for fun, really. But
You'd think so, wouldn't you? Yeah.
I'm just thinking here, that's 3 wins already for Sean Phelan, and then you've got Hugh Glass and Noes in the first 2 hurdle races. He's going to probably pretty unusual situation, I'd suggest, Neil, where a jumps jockey will start favourite in a jockey's challenge when there are as many flat races as there are jumps races. So yeah, it'd be interesting to watch whether opens favourite, but
probably will. Yeah.
They will actually. Probably Fannin will be second favourite.
Yeah. Rightio. Sports selections now. Last week you were really keen on the Blues up against the Crusaders. Blues, what, 15 wins in a row? Crusaders, what are they going for their 7th
title in a row or something like that, depending on how you treat last year's two competitions.
Yeah. Home ground.
First of all, Neil, we have a slight problem, don't we? Because the Warriors play the Panthers at 7:30. The Blues and the Crusaders are at 7:05. I think they are. Which game will you be watching?
I'll be watching the Blues game. Maybe flick over at halftime.
You really have gone off your Warriors, haven't you? I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed that you've jumped off this train.
I've joined the outflow, the out tide.
There will only be your brother will be next one off the train.
He's already off. Miracles do happen.
I'm sticking with the Blues. I'm sticking with the Blues in the Super Rugby. I told everyone last week they'd win the final. Some would argue they're a bit lucky to be in the final with the referee missing a pretty obvious penalty right at the end. But I would argue the Crusaders, the Chiefs had about 3 very much missed opportunities to score tries in that game. The one before halftime.
Yeah.
Just the last pass wasn't sticking, was it? But they really pushed the Crusaders, or should have pushed them even closer than what they did. The scoreline, I thought, flattered the Crusaders. That breakaway try too, that was right against the run of play. I think I'm sticking with the Blues. I think they will win the final, $1.80. Not often the Crusaders are outsiders in a final. It'll be the first time ever. I think this is the first one that they've played away from home. Brings back memories though, Neil. 24 years ago, I was at a Blues Crusaders final at Eden Park.
Yeah.
At the time, 1998.
Right, yeah.
At the time, I remember sitting in the, what was it called? The North Stand. It's now the ASB stand, I think. And the last 10 minutes, the game was on a knife edge. And yeah, it was an amazing atmosphere. Daytime game, 2:30 kickoff.
Gee,
Yeah, brings back good memories.
yeah.
But we know the Crusaders went on to win that game, so hopefully the Blues can. Well, they won the final in 2003 against the Crusaders, so I guess you could argue it's one apiece.
Yeah.
And Blues Crusaders finals at Eden Park. So we'll see what happens there on tomorrow. But I had to check my eyes actually, Neil, for the for the Warriors Penrith.
Yep.
When I saw the point start, 24.5. I thought, well, that must be for the first half. No, for the whole game. Is that not a gift? Aren't the Panthers? You can't tell me they're not going to put more than 25 points on the Warriors, surely.
You'd think so.
That's the Gates Sports Bet of the week.
Yep.
Penrith minus 24.5 at $1.90.
Yeah.
They are a woeful team, the Warriors. They started
Penrith are so good.
Last week. They should have all the reason to carry on, and they basically gave up, didn't they?
Yeah. Just don't go. And Penrith, you can't see them winning by, say, 25, what, to say 30 points to 5. It's going to be 40 or 50 to 5, isn't it? So I think you're dead right. 24.5 points is a gift. So,
I can guarantee you now the Warriors won't finish with 5 points, because I don't know why they'd be taking a field goal. But
you never
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Yeah. So yeah, let's. Well, there'll be plenty of channel surfing, but hopefully, yeah. Unfortunately for Warriors fans, I encourage you to watch the Super Rugby final.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely be watching the final. The just while on that, I'm going to the first test against Ireland on the 3rd of July.
Yep.
Listening to SENZ talking about, or to a chap in Ireland, the Irish team sound pretty good. A good attacking team. The average ruck time was 2.9 seconds, a good stat. So they're getting the ball out quickly and out to the backs, and they seem like a pretty good attacking team. I haven't actually watched them play. Have you watched them play much at all, the Irish team, and what chance do you give them?
Well, the All Blacks form going into this game, we all forget quite quickly we were very poor against both Ireland and France on the Northern Tour last November. So, well, I don't want to say it, but I will. There has to be question marks about the coach. I think interesting. A lot will depend on who they pick at number 10, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And obviously, I guess Sam Kane's there as captain, so he has to start. 90% of New Zealand rugby followers would suggest he isn't the best in his position, so that causes issues.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see the odds when they come out for the first test. I'm actually going to the third test, so I'm kind of hoping it's tied at 1 test all, and we go to Wellington on the 17th, is it, of July?
Could possibly be. I think Ireland's paying $4 in the.
Oh, they out, are they?
Yeah, the international matches. I presume it's the series. Series betting. $1.22 All Blacks, draw $21, Ireland $4. So, but that's international matches. Is that the actual game? Doesn't actually say. I suppose it is. Yeah, first test.
Where are we? Later. Here we go. Where's rugby?
Ireland 10.5 plus 10.5. It is. Yeah, the first test. Yeah, $4.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Well,
money.
You'd be taking a bit of the plus 10.5 if you're willing to get on early. I know Eden Park is a fortress, so you wouldn't necessarily pick them to win that, but yeah, I'm not convinced. Oh,
look, I mean, it's an interesting game anyway. It'll be a slaughter, will it, by the sounds of it? So it's going to be a good test match to watch and be there at. Okay, brickbats and bouquets. What do you got lined up?
Hats off to a brickbat and a bouquet all wrapped up in one. Hats off to the TAB for bringing in the punter's promise, where you are guaranteed on New Zealand racing, all codes, to be.
Is it all codes?
Yeah, all codes.
Yeah.
Yep. All New Zealand codes. So harness, gallops, greyhounds. Your first bet on the option, you are guaranteed to win $2,000. So if you've got a horse paying $6. You can put 400 on it. That's a $2,000 profit. They have to accept your 400. If the price doesn't move, they don't have to accept another bet from you. If the price then moves into $5, let's say, they then have to accept another 500 on to lose another $2,000.
Oh yeah.
So that's how it works.
Yeah.
Obviously trying to appease punters, but that's the bouquet. The brickbat is, why is it only limited to win betting? Why isn't it including final field place, top 4, insurance, fixed odds quinellas, fixed odds exactas? So they've gone part of the way, but it'd be nice to see them actually go the full hog.
Yeah, it's interesting. I remember reading that and thinking the same thing, because a long time ago I played a bookie, and the more bets you've got on the race, the better off chances you've got of making a profit. Just get that turnover going. And
are you confessing to illegal activity on a podcast?
No, confess to that.
I didn't think I heard that correctly.
Yeah. No, it's just interesting that maybe they will in the future. And another option I'd like to see is the favourite to get beaten. Like if you get a $1.80 shot to win, make it to lose $2.20 or something. I think it's beaten. To give punters the option. There's always the integrity question, I suppose they ask, but gee whiz, when you back a horse to win, you're backing other horses to lose, aren't you? So, yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like, if you're backing the second favourite to win a race, aren't you laying the favourite by inference?
That's right.
So,
yeah,
is that not an integrity issue? Don't get me started on integrity issues.
The
rules of New Zealand racing are unbelievable, but we won't go there. We won't go there for now.
Yeah.
Okay. You've got one of your old chestnuts you're going to bring out of the woodwork again.
Yeah. I was looking forward to. I saw the pick 6 link there. I thought I'll have a look at that. And there's been pick 6s, or there are pick 6s on every day, virtually every day, on the greyhounds or the trots, except on a Saturday for the gallops. Even tomorrow, there's one on the trots at Invercargill Harness, and there's only it's terminating, which is good. There's no set pot, but why not just give us maybe one a month, the last Saturday of the month, a terminating pick 6 in the gallops? A lot of punters like them. That's the reason Lotto was so successful. They have a big pot, and people like to target that and go for it. Just I rang the TAB help desk about it last week, and they said, "Oh, no, we have one on Saturday in the harness, and every other day. That should be enough." And I said, "Well, no, it's not. Most punters follow the gallops, so let's just give us one a month to start to see if the interest is there."
I'll give you the right number to ring, Neil. I've got the person that you need to ring. You can ring a said gentleman. I won't mention his name on the podcast, but he should be able to give you a better answer than the people on the help desk.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
I definitely will. Okay, it's interesting. Yeah, because it just seems illogical to me why you wouldn't have one. It's a big carrot, and punters always like them.
Relive the glory days of 2009. 10, was it?
10? I don't know.
Was it 9, 10? $2.5 million collect.
Oh, that was a great day, wasn't it? Well, 10% of it, but no, it was a great day, that one. But
you're the only one in the whole country.
Yeah.
Have we got enough money to give away a multi again?
Oh, yep. Well, last week's question was a good question about Rough Habit. How many Group 1s did he have in his career? Answer was
11.
11, dead right. Give that one to you.
Yeah,
some great wins too, weren't there? And did that race last week was a good race too. Horse I tipped out 11.
Yeah. Who'd you tip out?
I tipped out 11-11 on the Stradbike. He got buddy chopped mid-race and ended up just being eased down at the end.
It's funny how people decide whether they like or dislike a horse based on who owns it. But that seems to be the way with Alligator Blood. Like, he's obviously a very good horse and great story, but most people don't really like the horse because they don't like the owner.
Yeah. Well, interesting is how it influences your punting. Like Michael McNabb, he's a good rider, obviously top rider in the country and leading the table. But every time I have a good whack at him, he gets beaten. Like yesterday with a Little Wing. it got whacked in from, I think, $4 something into $2, started at $2. And it read at the start, or jumped up at the start and got out, just a bit of the early pace. Some idiot came out 4 wide and took the tempo really fast, put the tempo into it. Eased to the trail, got out, had his chance and ran on for second. So it was a good ride. Couldn't do much else, but how do riders or trainers influence your punting, saying, every time I punt him, he misses? So it shouldn't, but it does.
Definitely. Like, yeah, it's not it's like, if you look at, say, barrier draws, a lot of people look at barrier draws. And if you did the stats on barrier draws, say, let's just say it's a 10 horse field at a 1200 meter race at Ellerslie, and you drilled down in your database and you found that there's 500 10 horse fields over 1200 meters at Ellerslie over the last 25 years, for example.
Yeah.
Well, the number one performing barrier draw will be like, it might be at 16 or 15%. The average is 10. Yep. Some will be maybe 14, 15 at the highest, and 7 or 8 might be the lowest. There'll be a pretty narrow variance on barrier draws. Mm. But if you then look at trainers' records, the variance is much higher between what a good trainer is and a poor trainer's strike rate career statistics. So surely trainers are a much bigger factor than barrier draws, yet a lot of punters focus on barrier draws. But yeah, trainers definitely, you only have to look to see, you work out pretty quickly who's good and who's maybe not so good. And yes, every now and then those ones will throw up a winner and they'll pay $48 and you'll have egg on your face. But over the long term, I think you'll go broke backing certain trainers' horses day in, day out. So you work that out, that can narrow things down. Jockeys probably not as bad as trainers, but yeah, they in terms of the variance. But again, you can see certain jockeys just get better, have better record strike rates.
The strike rates come into it there. But someone like Lee Finnis, he was a great rider to back, but you knew he'd give it every chance, and he was out there to win. And we got determination to win. I'm not saying not all jockeys have, but some haven't. Yeah.
Lee even himself, he got more pumped up for bigger races. So yeah, in big races, Leith was, right on the money. If it was a rating 65 midweek, he probably wouldn't be too worried whether he won or not. Not saying he wasn't trying at all, but just in terms of that big race mentality.
Yep.
But yeah, like Lisa Allpress is probably the most consistent jockey going around in terms of day in, day out. So yeah. Got off track there a bit, Neil, but we better hurry up because we've only got a couple of minutes. So we'll go quickly to this week's question on the multi.
Yep.
We haven't given an answer out.
Oh, the answer was 11.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll choose number 4.
Andy. Well, he's lucky he's won recently. So, okay, I'll put your multi up tomorrow. And the new question is, tough one. Tough one.
I referred to this game earlier in the podcast, the Blues Crusaders final, 1998. Who was the Crusaders player that scored the winning try with about 2 minutes to go on the clock in that game? It's a test for your memory, but pretty well known sort of try. And if you know the name of that player, text or email your answers through to Neil, and you're in the draw for next week's prize.
Yeah, 027 352 6402 or formpro@formpro.co.nz by Tuesday night to be in that draw for that multi next week. Yeah. Okay, good racing coming up at Waverley today. Some quiet races and a couple of good races.
The sun looks like we're copped a heap of rain. It's going to be pretty testing conditions there. So we'll go on and see what's happening and look forward to being at Trentham tomorrow. Look forward to the Panthers and the Warriors and the Blues and the Crusaders. And look forward to Chase beating Carpe Diem.
Yeah. 3 length start?
All right. 3
lengths.
Start.
Okay, you're on. Okay, for a top fish that'll do. Right, good punting tomorrow, everybody, and good luck.